It's Friday the 21st of May, 1:27 in the morning, and this upload is with regard to the ongoing issue of violations of privacy and proximity that I'm experiencing. As a wife experiencing desertion, and my family and my family home and my family property of Ardfert and Kilflyn as of 2015, the issues surrounding intruders and imposters on behalf of those causing discomfort and disruption from my family and I have violated every right in the Constitution and every right in the Declaration. They have ignored royal patronage obligations, and they have ignored recovery advocate rights and international protection also. So these people have been incessant with regard to their obsession with my marital property, and they have caused huge offence and a lot of injuries. The issue of being a married woman in these circumstances in a 2021 democracy, and individuals that have claimed rights to any of my circumstances have caused a very, very serious and sinister matter. The issue of being a recovery advocate and mental health practitioners facilitating property theft directly or indirectly, as has happened in my case, and that has not been acknowledged duly by the State Ombudsman, is another sinister issue. The issue of people on my marital property while I'm in social housing and experiencing financial abuse, theft and exploitation, slander of character and false allegations without the supports that I'm fully entitled to as a teacher that has worked with 3 state departments, etc., as a recovery advocate, etc., etc. These people have caused grievous offence to my hereditary, my ancestry, my culture, and my family. They have not acknowledged their failings and wrongdoings, and they have falsified so many instances and incidents in these matters that are very, very worrying. The fellowship I represent respects anonymity. The fellowship I represent also respects the principles of individuality and uniqueness and recovery. As a recovery advocate, the issue of mental health practitioners facilitating hate crime and slander of character and causing discomfort and unrest to a qualified, mature, professional woman. This person on this upload, namely Maria McElligott of Ardfert and Kilflyn, those insulting my profession and purpose as an advocate and as a humanitarian of legislative and societal developments have caused very serious issues against the democracy and the state. There have been initiatives that haven't been exactly successful, and there hasn't been adequate acknowledgement with regard to the failings that have been occurring as a consequence of those culprits of hate crime trespassing upon my family and I. The issue of medical negligence not being addressed, and the discourtesy and disrespect of damaging a woman's anatomy and bodily integrity without so much as consultation or consent, is one of the most heinous offences against women's rights. Such is the case in my circumstance. Now, the issue of the Honourable Government being aware of these issues since 2017 and not being addressed, and offences continuing to this day involving creative, intellectual, property theft, financial theft I've experienced, These individuals think it's amusing to pauperize a professional property owner, a mother. So denigration and debasement and defamation have been the tactics at play. And unfortunately, those kind of tactics in these days does not signify very sensible behaviour or conduct. The individuals that discuss a person that they have no right to be intruding upon and that are not addressing their failings and not acknowledging the requirement of reparations and ignoring due process and being cheeky where they have no right to be, regardless of whether I'm in social housing or not, as I am of royal patronage and of legislation and societal developments. Those overlooking the facts and causing insult and injuries worse than they've caused my son since January 2017 are all very serious human rights abuses. The issue of slandering a woman's credibility, as is the case by the individuals that have represented mental health in the past 3 years and that have caused very dangerous exacerbation, I might add. These individuals that make spurious claims without so much as interaction or communication, but of, let's say, inauthentic information and falsification, etc. These kind of tactics is what is at play, or what are at play in my circumstances with this collective in a small town in the southwest of Ireland, damaging a universal light worker of royal patronage. So whether I'm in social housing or not, there are no liberties for people to come and go and trespass upon me and help themselves to my belongings when they choose to knock on a door. There are issues about debts and damages since 2006. These are all issues that the State Ombudsman and the ECHR have been made aware of. I don't think it's very intelligent behaviour for professionals to lower themselves to slander of character. When a woman is of sanity and sobriety and experiencing heinous offences, it's not very much to their credibility to be causing further offences and injuries, especially when they're fully aware of the harms they have caused to an innocent child. So the professional misconduct is highly questionable. It's not tolerable. And bad politics regarding any offences and wrongdoings against an innocent woman is not good for future politics. And as regards my marital property as of 2015, those that have intruded upon my family and my property and that have caused financial theft and fraud have caused a very serious offence. So the issues caused due to acquisitions of offenders against the state are insulting the professions they represent, and they're insulting the country's constitution, and they're insulting royal patronage. On that note, with regard to sanity and sobriety, I hope all the members of the fellowship are able to relate and identify with my circumstances about sharing regarding advocacy. The issue of mental health practitioners not understanding remit and boundaries, and slander being involved also, is quite offensive and very serious against any advocate of recovery. So I'd appreciate those that trespassed onto my marital home in 2017 and that have been failing in their professional obligations since 2016 to have a little bit of courtesy and common sense with regard to all the offences already caused. And as regards the Honourable Government that I've been contacting since 2017, I'm still awaiting acknowledgement with regard to damages, harms, and losses on Julie Coast.